Hey everybody, Maction here, and today we're going to take a look at the Lenovo Yoga Tab 2. It comes in 8 and 10-inch versions, much like the previous incarnations. You also, though, get it in Android or Windows 8, which is unique to this generation. Now what you see before you is the Android version in 10 inches. For comparison, you can see it right next to the first generation of the same size. I'll make a lot of references to the Generation 1 Yoga tablets, primarily because the time I had with it was so good that the review unit convinced me that I needed to buy one for myself. And after I sent that review unit back, I got one for myself, and got my father one as well to replace his iPad. Now there are some marked improvements, as well as some minor changes that you will see, so let's get right to it with the hardware. Now it's running an Intel processor this time, a 4-core 1.3 GHz processor, 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB of internal memory with a micro SD card expansion slot. The battery is 9,600 mAh as opposed to the 9,000 mAh in the previous 10-inch version, an 8 megapixel rear camera and 1.6 megapixel front camera. A 1920 by 1200 display. Generation 1, as you'll recall, was 1280 by 800, so a much better, much crisper display on this one. It has a micro USB port for charging and file transfer, and a standard headphone jack. Now there are an amazing amount of little improvements. For example, in the previous versions, it was a bit of a pain to get a micro SD card into and out of the tablet itself. As a matter of fact, it's so far up into the slot that I tried to put another one into this 8-inch version because I couldn't see it there. Whereas on this second generation tablet, it's much easier to get in and out, and you can even see just a little bit of there, so you don't even need long fingernails to get your micro SD card out of the slot. The hinge now bends farther than before, and that hole in there allows you to hang it fairly conveniently on the wall. It doesn't quite go a full 180 degrees, but the large hinge does make it sit relatively flat. Now the speakers show an enormous improvement over the previous version, as you can certainly hear here with both at maximum volume. In practice, this made it much easier for the sharing of media because the extra decibels helped the content carry over a large room. I'm not sure how much of this has to do with the Dolby audio, and how much of it is just plain better speakers. One of the things that puts the Yoga tablets on the map is the battery life. Battery life, though, is a fun and interesting topic because it will always vary from person to person. It all depends on your usage. For me, I think I went a week without charging the tablet at one point. Its usage, for me, was mostly streaming media. Here's a screenshot of the battery partway through the week. As you can see, about 3 hours of use each evening, mostly Netflix and YouTube. Over a week, that comes out to close to 21 hours of use, much higher than the advertised 18, but that did include low brightness and, frankly, light use. If you want long battery life, you can certainly get it here. Now, a quick note on the display. The Yoga tablet 2nd generation still lacks an HDMI out port. And if you plan on getting one of these tablets, you should also pick up a Miracast dongle to complement the purchase so you can easily wirelessly cast your display to someplace else. Now these tablets have some clever hardware configurations, but they do suffer from some small software issues. This is perhaps most evident in the interface. It runs a skinned version of Android 4.4 KitKat and takes some getting used to. Most notable is the notification center that does not allow for easy access to the settings menu, nor even a settings hotbar. For this, you'll need to swipe up that hotbar from the bottom of the screen. While this isn't a big deal for me, it does take some getting used to, and I do still prefer the stock method. Additionally, it has an implementation of windowed mode, which is kind of a mixed bag, but I have to give them props for trying. Samsung is most noted for their adjustable split-screen mode, but this is a touch different. By bringing up the multi-windowed options, we see 6 apps that are supported, only 3 of which can be used at once. Since I did not use these apps often, I can say that it worked just fine for my light usage, mostly Chrome in tandem with, say, the calculator or something else. It was nice, though, to close the windowed mode of Chrome and have all my stuff come right back up in the full-scale app. And while this whole experience was a little bit more of a novelty than a necessity to me, I can give them some props for the forethought in thinking about that sort of changeover between the windowed instance of a mode and the normal app itself. There is one other change that I know will please quite a few people, and that is you can change an aspect of the power button. Previously, the power button would pulse any time there was a notification waiting on your tablet, but you can change it so that now it only flashes when, say, you're charging. For my personal use, I imagine I'll be getting a Yoga Tab 2 8-inch as my daily driver. I find the 10-inch size to be great for videos and streaming, but just not for gameplay. Any type of presentation or media on this is just great with a crisp, bright display that you have a lot of brightness options with. And for those of you who prefer a larger tablet, I would say that this is definitely what you're looking for. Reasonable power, a great screen, and fantastic battery life. As of this video, though, there are no specialty cases, so a slightly oversized tablet case would be in order if you want to protect your purchase. At $269 from Lenovo, with a cleaning cloth, a USB cable, and a charger, this certainly is a good call on tablets for this next year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed, and if you have, a comment or a like would be most appreciated. It's your feedback that lets me know how to best allocate my time to the things that you guys want to see. If you click on any of the links around here, you'll be taken to a playlist with more of that particular brand of madness. And be sure to subscribe so that you always know when I've got some new content out. Thanks again, and I'll see you around.